Coming up tonight on YCN News, Wakefield Republican and Executive Council candidate Joe Kenney held a forum in Claremont on the nation's new medical insurance. The Boston Athletic Association releases new policies for the 2014 Boston Marathon, and a federal agency is launching a new tip line to increase drug arrests. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Thursday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. A forum today in Claremont outlined the challenges for people and businesses dealing with the nation's new medical insurance law. Whether you prefer to call it the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, at least one thing is certain: it can be frustrating to understand. Wakefield Republican and Executive Council candidate Joe Kenney moderated a panel where each speaker shared their views on signing up for health insurance under the 2010 federal law. Republican State Senator Andy Sanborn, insurance expert Diane Chase, and Claremont Mayor James Nielsen were guest speakers. Sanborn stressed the need to elect the best people to enact laws, including the ACA. As a small business owner, Sanborn said the requirements under the act will hurt companies' financial health. Chase is an independent insurance broker who finds the best coverage for a client regardless of which insurance company sponsors the plan. She outlined the 4 levels of health insurance offered under Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. One problem in the state regarding the rollout of the health insurance plan is that Anthem is the only insurer, and as Mayor Nielsen told the 30 people gathered at the Common Man restaurant, Anthem is not allowing the city's Valley Regional Hospital to accept insurance from anyone who buys a plan under Anthem's ACA plan. Claremont resident and state rep Joe Osgood spoke of the rising health insurance costs he is seeing. Orford resident Vicki Schwegler attended the meeting, as did a woman from Colebrook, about 2 hours north of Claremont. Schwegler asked if anyone from Anthem was present to answer the questions she had about her policy. The room fell silent. In the end, today's panelists and attendees shared one another's frustration with the new national health insurance plan as it now stands. One man asked the panel what can be done about the law. Sanborn reminded the audience of the importance of electing the best people they can to represent them in Washington. And he said the state's earlier discussion of the ACA may have made things more difficult.
The question is, should there have been someone in the exchange in addition to Anthem? That wasn't a policy question for the legislature. That was Anthem actually responding to the rules and the requirements that the Affordable Care Act put in place of it. We need to, as policymakers, I believe we should be encouraging more competition and more companies to come all the time, because I believe with more competition comes better opportunities for the consumer. But what we're seeing as having only one carrier within the exchange is more a result of the difficult requirements of implementing the ACA.
To learn more about the Affordable Care Act, check out www.healthcare.gov. Winter weather can be as tough on animals as for people. Whether your pet lives indoors or out, there are ways to help the one that you love.
You definitely want to make sure that their feet aren't getting too cold, that their paws are well taken care of, and leaving them out in the extreme cold for any more than 5 minutes can certainly be a danger to them. Certainly making sure that if you have a dog that doesn't have a big fluffy coat, that they are covered with a blanket, and making sure that they are eating properly and getting good quality nutrition and energy from their food. And you may find that your dog eats a little bit more in the winter than they do in the summer, but you want to make sure to keep an eye on their weight, that they're not getting overweight at the same time, because that can shorten their lifespan.
When YCN News returns, we'll hear about the new policies released by the Boston Athletics Association to tighten security at the upcoming Boston Marathon, and we'll hear about the new tip line being launched to increase drug arrests.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
The good folks at H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils want you to know that their philosophy is simple. Wow 'em with our service. Fuel delivery when you need it and how you want it. Prepay or a 10-month budget plan puts you in control and provides automatic delivery. Or just call when you're at a quarter of a tank. Pay cash and get an additional 10 cents per gallon off.
Wow 'em with service. It's the H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils way of doing business.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Turning from winter weather care, if you're a runner, you know that the longer days ahead mean more time for jogging. Just as baseball spring training has its countdown fans, so do marathon runners. 52 days from today, runners from around the world will head to Massachusetts for another annual spring rite, the Boston Marathon. This year's race is April 21st. Following last year's bombings near the race's finish line, the Boston Athletic Association released new policies for the 2014 Boston Marathon that will tighten security on that day. One of the first changes mentioned on the BAA website is a no bags policy. Official participants will no longer be allowed to bring bags on the buses from Boston to Hopkinton, and there will be restricted areas near the start and finish line where bags are not allowed. To compensate, there will be an opportunity for participants to leave a change of clothes at the Boston Common in a bag that will be provided by the BAA. Along with bags, other prohibited items will include glass containers, liquid containers holding larger than 1 liter, strollers, suitcases, weighted vests with pockets, props, and personal hydration systems. Rules regarding number pickup will also be stricter, allowing only the official participant, no friends or family, to pick up his or her bib number. Finally, the order of finish area services has changed so that finishers now will receive medals, headsheet warmth retention capes, fluids such as water and Gatorade, and food. With these new policies and modifications, the association hopes to make the 2014 Boston Marathon a safe, secure event so that spectators and participants can continue to enjoy it. For more information on the new policies and updates, go to www.baa.org. In other regional news, with increasing reports of drug arrests and raids in Vermont and New Hampshire reflecting a growing drug trade, a federal agency is launching a new tip line to increase arrests. Special Agent in charge of the New England Field Division of Drug Enforcement Administration, John Arvanitis, announced today that this field division has made an anonymous texting tip line available to the public. Known as Tip 411, the system allows anyone with a cell phone to quickly and easily report drug trafficking, money laundering, or related suspicious activity directly to a DEA agent. To use the service, 847411, Tip 411, is entered in the To field and the keyword DEA drugs in the text field on a cell phone followed by the tip. All information provided is 100% anonymous. Citizen Observer's technology removes the identifying information of the sender before the tip is forwarded to the DEA. The service allows the agent to follow up with the sender in a response text, but the citizen remains completely anonymous throughout the conversation. The system currently is utilized by other law enforcement agencies around the country.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Coda & Coda has been providing trust, confidence, and peace of mind since 1941. And we just opened an office in Winhall, Vermont to better serve our customers. For over 70 years, Coda & Coda has served people of New Hampshire and Vermont with clean, reliable heating fuels. From bio-blended heating oil, propane gas, kerosene, diesel fuel, and gasoline, we're providing quality of our products and our unmatched superior service. At Coda & Coda, you can depend on us. We're staking our name on it.
For fun, food, fashion, and après entertainment, the new experience at Stratton Village is part of a $7 million investment. Outfit your adventure with the latest from Burton, The North Face, Dashing Bear, or First Run. Fuel your days and nights with great food and drink from Fire Tower Restaurant and Tavern, Stratton Mountain Market and Deli, Mulligan's, or the Sushi Bar. Make any occasion special with a visit to Von Bargain's Fine Jewelry, pampering at the Stratton Day Spa. Make our home yours and see yourself slopeside. Welcome to Stratton Village.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next 5 days, and he'll take a look at some local high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tomorrow will be sunny with highs in the teens and a low of 1 degree. Saturday temperatures will rise to a high of 31 with lows in the teens. Sunday will have highs in the 30s with temperatures dropping to around 8 degrees. Monday we're expecting some snow with highs in the 20s and lows in the negatives. Tuesday will have a high of 21 degrees and lows down to -3. And now let's look at the northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's look at our community calendar. In Cornish tomorrow, there will be a Board of Selectmen meeting at 3 p.m. Sunapee will be holding an open mic night tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in the Sunapee Methodist Church. And the Lebanon Opera House will begin performances of Seussical the Musical by the North Country Community Theater starting at 7:30 p.m. with more showtimes Saturday and Sunday. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com.
And now let's look at the Snow Country Report with Hallie O'Brien.
This is gonna be fun. Hey, it's Hallie O'Brien here at Sugar Bush in Vermont, where it's not about first chair, it's about first tracks. That's right, you can take a snowcat to the top of the mountain before the lifts start turning, ensuring the best runs of the day. You can do that same thing at night for dinner at Allen's, right behind me, delicious fondue, and then ski back down under the stars.
Winter has a strong grip on the slopes as we head into March, and the groomers have nice deep snow to work with. Sunapee's Winter Wild uphill downhill race is Saturday. Use your skis, board, snowshoes, or running shoes to get up and down Mount Sunapee for great prizes. Ragged Mountain built a brand new snow tubing park, and it's worth the trip. It's a thrilling ride with 7 lanes that have 2 steep drops.
All right, so we just got off the mountain. First tracks were incredible, am I right?
It was awesome. Incredible. So cool.
He took some of the mountain with him.
That's right.
If you could describe Sugar Bush in 3 words, what would you say?
Cool, cream, and powdery.
Ooh, sounds like a dessert.
Okemo wants you to have the best skiing surface possible, so they're running the snow guns again. YOLO! Mount Snow in Stratton picked up a half a foot of fresh snow this week. Bust out the beads and head over to Mount Snow for Mardi Gras weekend, while Stratton has a banked slalom race for snowboarders on Sunday.
So Sugar Bush has been awesome. I'm gonna go take some more runs, and I think you should do the same. Head over to snowcountry.com for more info, and we will see you next week.
And now let's look at YCN's Game of the Week. Tuesday night was senior night at Lebanon High School, as the 7 senior Raider players plus the managers and cheerleaders were honored before their final regular season home game of their career. Senior Dom Morrill drives to the hoop for 2 of his 16 points on the night. Lebanon bolted out to an early lead. Here, Morrill finds KJ Matt inside for 2. In the second half, Marty Gradigan hit this 3-pointer to push the Raider lead to 30 points.
Talk about.
Bishop Brady did make a small run in the second half. Here, Joe Bell slams the ball home after a steal, but Gradigan's drive and foul was more than enough to hold off Bishop Brady and avenge an earlier season loss to the Green Giants on January 17th. Lebanon finishes the regular season at 15-3 and will go into the NHIAA Division II tourney as the number 4 seed. You can watch this game next Wednesday on Comcast Channel 20 and 712 in HD. The game premieres at 7:30 p.m.